Mrs. Hussein-Obama is at it again. Michael, as her husband calls her, "Hey, Barack, I gotta go to the bathroom. Where's the closest men's restroom? I need a urinal." Mrs. Hussein-Obama is worried about the illegals. She's worried about anybody who has color on their skin that is not Caucasian. That they're going to be grabbed, dragged off the street. Enough about me. Let's hear her. This is too much fun. This is too priceless. Here we go.
There's so much bias and so much racism.
Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Like Oprah Winfrey. Oh my gosh, did you see my magazine? I'm on the front cover. Oh my gosh, look at last month. I'm on the cover again. Oh my gosh. There is so much bias and racism. It's everywhere. I can see it from my $20 million home on the coast of Hawaii or Martha's Vineyard.
There's so much bias and so much racism and so much ignorance that fuels those kind of choices.
Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Ah.
I worry for people of color all over this country.
Yes, sir. People of color. I worry. I lay down. Oh wait, I lay down in my $5,000 sheets at night in my $10,000 bed with my $50,000 furniture in my bedroom, and I worry at night. All I think about is the illegals.
And I don't know that we will have the advocates to protect everybody. And that frightens me.
Mrs. Hussein-Obama, you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Why don't you pay for all this? Protect them. Save them. They're being dragged off the street. Racism is everywhere. Oh my God. It's racism. Excuse me.
It keeps me up at night.
I am awake at night in my $20,000 bed sheets in bed, worrying about illegals every night. Yeah. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. Okay, let's go to the judge in Milwaukee that tried to help that illegal escape. She has now been charged by the feds with felony obstruction of a federal agency. The ICE, FBI, Border Patrol, and DEA were all there trying to arrest him. It was an FBI warrant, a complaint by the FBI not an FBI warrant, but a complaint by the FBI that was filed against her. And I have good news for that for you on that Wisconsin judge, Dugan. She has, according to Fox News, been temporarily relieved of her official duties. She ain't on the bench no more. No mo, as Phil Collins would say. By the way, the guy she was trying to hide and run away with beat up two people, a guy and a girl. He beat a guy, hit the guy 30 times, knocked him to the ground, choked him, and beat up a woman so badly they both had to go to the hospital. This is who we care about in Wisconsin. This is who Mrs. Hussein-Obama is worried about getting dragged off the streets. Wall Street Journal did a little column on this today with Judge Dugan, the one that absconded with the illegal in her courthouse in Milwaukee. And they said this: in the process of allegedly helping the illegal, Judge Dugan canceled her hearing on his alleged domestic crime without informing the prosecutor or the alleged victims. They were left sitting unaware in the courtroom. How would his victims, the Journal writes, have received their day in court? Number two, they said you shouldn't let courthouses become illegal sanctuaries. Exactly right, for illegals. She'll get her day in court, they say. That's more than the due process the judge was willing to grant the illegals' victims, who he's accused of beating the hell out of. Great column in the Journal also by a woman who is she is a legal refugee, a legal migrant from Vietnam. She came as Saigon fell. She talks about the 5 dresses that she remembers her mom packing, all sorts of difficult things. She says today more than 300,000 businesses in the U.S. are owned by Vietnamese Americans. 55% of U.S.-born Vietnamese Americans hold bachelor's degrees or higher, well above the national average of 38%. One of my longtime optometrists is a Vietnamese refugee, and she is the most conservative person you will ever meet in your life. She's more conservative than I am. Her parents didn't tell her this. They lied to her as they lay in a warehouse a military warehouse, getting ready to evacuate. They had to spend the night in a warehouse, and her parents were so terrified that they'd get killed, bombed overnight by the Viet Cong that they laid on top of her and they lied to her and said, "We're just trying to keep you warm." She remembers being whisked into the helicopter as Saigon was falling. She remembers seeing a pile of clothes by the chopper. What was that? They didn't let you take anything, only the clothes on your back. That woman is what makes this country the best. That woman is a legal refugee, a legal migrant. And she's more conservative than I am. God bless her. God bless all of our friends, our Vietnamese friends. God bless them. Amen, amen, and amen. Oh, did you see that Joe Biden, in an effort to try to win politically and to look good and get good polling numbers, that he robbed? You know this. He pilfered like I think around 40 to 50% of our strategic petroleum reserves, which is supposed to be only in a time of war and emergency, a national massive emergency, not to win votes. He sucked so many of our caverns, salt caverns in believe the state of Louisiana is where a lot of them are. He sucked them so dry so fast to bail himself out politically that he destroyed some of these petroleum reserves. They can't even hold petroleum. Listen to this from our Energy Secretary Chris Wright today on CNBC.
Is the price right enough, pun intended, I suppose, Mr. Secretary, to refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve right now?
Oh, absolutely. We are refilling the reserve now, and we will continue to refill the reserve the whole time I'm in office. You know, that was just such an irresponsible action to drain that reserve so quickly for electoral reasons. And in fact, it was drained so fast, it did some damaging to the facilities. And so right now, we only can fill 2 of the 4 major salt caverns we have.
2 out of 4, half of our strategic petroleum reserves, storage facilities, or if you will, salt caverns, were damaged. That's what this man, he just destroyed so much of this country. But yet here's Mrs. Hussein-Obama, Michael, hey, Barack, worried about illegals getting dragged off the street.
So we're doing repair.
She ain't going to have no oil shortage. Mrs. Hussein-Obama ain't going to have no oil shortage. By the way, she was worried about the sea levels. Former President Hussein Obama said that our sea levels were rising. Then why did you buy both of your mansions on the coast, right at the sea level, right there on the sea, on the ocean in Hawaii and Martha's Vineyard?
And so right now we only can fill 2 of the 4 major salt caverns we have. So we're doing repair work on the other 2. We're slowly filling the other 2, and I'm trying to get some funds through Congress that'll give us a longer-term runway to fill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve at the fastest rate we can.
Yeah, they're just saying the prices are low. Why not fill it up? Well, we are, except for the 2 caverns that Joe Biden destroyed because he sucked them dry so fast. You bleepity bleep. Okay. Speaking of the illegals, one more quick thing here. There's another case, a horrific case in Fairfax County, Virginia. An illegal who was deported twice prior and was busted for having an illegal in possession of a firearm because he's not allowed to touch those as an illegal. He got busted big time for doing some horrible things to a woman. He was charged with strangling her, felony abduction by force. He's a Biden illegal because he got deported twice. He came back in and was busted January 2025, a Biden illegal. Felony abduction by force, felony strangulation, misdemeanor assault on a family member. A liberal Fairfax County judge, because he, quote, wants to he makes charging and plea decisions that limit or avoid immigration consequences. This SOB gave this guy who could have gotten 15 to 16 years in prison 2 months. 2 months in prison for strangling a woman and doing all these vile things. The victim said the man pulled a knife on her and strangled her. So the judge literally gave this guy a slap on the wrist. The woman said this. Listen, this is what Joe Biden's America, the Democrats' America has done to us. She says she has 2 young children. She's terrified this guy. He's dangerous, she said. She's terrified now that something's going to happen now that he's out. She says, quote, I have 2 young children. If I die, who's going to take care of them? The victim said he pulled a knife on her and strangled her. If I die, who's going to take care of him? It ain't going to be Joe Biden or Mrs. Hussein-Obama. That's faux shizzle. We also have this for you. I say we. I have a mouse in my pocket. Otherwise, I wouldn't say we. I'm not going to let you don't get to see the mouse. He's in my pocket. You got to trust me. This poll just came in on Trump. If he does run for a third term, come on, baby. If he does run for a third term, he will trounce the competition. As of right now, brand new polling from the Daily Mail, Trump comes for the third term, baby. He comes in at 39%, J.D. Vance at 19%, Ron DeSantis 6%, Nikki Haley 4%. And that, my friends, is that.